At the wedding ceremony, Sophia, dressed in a wedding gown, walked straight towards her ex-boyfriend.
James, I can't marry you. Do you really think Sophia would marry a cripple?
The man beside her sneered.
You're just a dog kept by Sophia's family.
I remained calm, took off the ring and returned it to Sophia. Once, I might have cared about such words, but now, having been reborn, the life I owed has been repaid. Later, Sophia actually begged me, saying that she loved me and wanted to marry me. I looked at her and said word by word, Sophia, I actually never thought about marrying you. For this wedding ceremony, I didn't use a cane, and my legs were feeling a bit strained at the moment. Coping with this embarrassing scene was even more exhausting. The guests around were whispering, while my fiancée Sophia was affectionately hugging the arm of another man.
I knew this man.
Sophia had been in love with him for 3 years. After he left, she had cried for him every night. Right in front of me, David directly shouted at me, Do you really think Sophia would marry a cripple?
James, you're just a dog of Sophia's family.
How could the young lady of the Sophia family marry a poor guy like you?
Now that I'm back, you can get out. I looked at Sophia and asked seriously, Sophia, is this what you mean too?
Her eyes were filled with tears, but she still said earnestly, James, I can't marry you.
If you feel sorry, you shouldn't have done this on this occasion. Clearly, she could have called off the engagement in advance, but in order to satisfy the shameful vanity of her first love, she made me the most embarrassed person in the room. Sorry, James. You're really nice. You'll find someone who loves you in the future.
Who would fancy this cripple?
Look at his shabby appearance. David said unceremoniously, as if this could trample me underfoot.
I took off the ring in my hand and handed it to her. You can keep this ring for future use.
Then, I turned and left. In fact, I secretly breathed a sigh of relief. I owed her a life, and now I've finally paid it off. I'm free. James, what's going on? My good brother Mark stood up for me. Wasn't it Sophia who insisted on getting married? How could she take marriage as a joke? You got your leg like this because of her, and she actually despises you. You were the one who took care of the pre-wedding ceremony and all the procedures. You haven't slept well for days, and this is how she treats you. I said wearily, I just want to catch up on some sleep right now. Let me sleep a little longer. You still want to sleep? Mark directly lifted my quilt. Your wife has run away with someone else, and you still have the mood to sleep. Don't you dislike Sophia? Shouldn't you be celebrating with gongs and drums now that she's gone? I couldn't sleep anymore. I sat up angrily, that's true, but what? Don't you like her? Mark looked disbelieving. Mark, you might not believe it, but actually I don't like her. Looking at his expression, I knew he wouldn't believe me. To be honest, if I didn't know the truth, I wouldn't believe it myself. After all, the whole of New York knew that I was crazy about Sophia and was willing to be her obedient lapdog. This had long become a joke in the circle. Everyone thought that my days of being a lapdog were finally over, but in the end, this wedding nailed me to the pillar of shame. Just then, my phone rang. It was actually Sophia. I didn't want to answer it at first, but Mark snatched it away. I really want to see what this heartless woman has to say. Mark answered the phone. A drowsy voice came from the other side of the phone. Sophia seemed not to be fully awake. James, come pick me up at 10. I have a beauty appointment today. Before I could speak, Mark got angry. Sophia, why don't you ask your husband to pick you up? What, did his leg break overnight? Sophia seemed to wake up at this moment and quickly said, I forgot. I smiled and said to the phone, it's okay, Sophia. Don't contact me anymore in the future. James, do you really have to be so clear-cut with me? Can't you even call my name? She was acting pitiful. I know you're angry, but I really love him. You've always known that. Sophia, there's no need for you to say so much about our relationship. After that, I hung up the phone and blocked her number. James, you actually blocked her. Mark was a bit surprised. I was amused by him, why wouldn't I? Come on, every time you quarrel with her, you admit defeat. She's probably still waiting for you to apologize. I wonder how long you can hold out this time without looking for her. For a lifetime. Scoundrel. Sophia's grandfather directly smashed an object in front of me. It instantly shattered into pieces, and I didn't even see what it was originally. What a scoundrel. How could you let her act so recklessly? Sophia's grandfather must have been extremely angry, with a red face and a thick neck. But more than that, he was angry that we had lost face. Although these words seemed to be scolding Sophia, they were actually scolding me for not being able to control Sophia, and even more for not being able to compete with other men. Sir, I'm not sure what uncle and aunt mean.
In other words, Sophia's parents were both there that day, but no one intervened, and they let me be humiliated.
Now they come to blame me alone. What's going on? You tell her to come back to me.
If she doesn't come back, she'll never come back.
Sophia's grandfather shouted at his son.
Such a big thing, she's not ashamed, but I am.
Is that David, the one who went abroad before?
Sophia's mother quickly nodded. This David, I don't know what kind of magic he's cast on our Sophia.
I'm so worried.
As she spoke, she started crying. Sophia's father was trying to comfort her on the side and said to Sophia's grandfather, I'll teach her a good lesson later. When we left Sophia's villa, Sophia's mother immediately stopped crying and turned to me, You useless thing. I gave my precious daughter to you. How could you let her fall into the hands of another man? Auntie, Sophia has always loved David. Sophia's mother said to me sternly, Then you're useless. I don't care what method you use.
Even if you have to kneel her back for me.
I shook my head, took out a card from my pocket and handed it over. Uncle and Auntie, I'm very grateful that you adopted me for so many years.
Here is the money you spent on me. I've saved it for a long time. It can be regarded as a repayment for your upbringing. James, what do you mean?
Sophia's father looked displeased. Are you trying to draw a clear line from Sophia's family?
Uncle, no. But Sophia doesn't want to marry me, and I don't want to force her. After that, I said goodbye and left.
Drawing a clear line was definitely necessary, but Sophia's family might still need me.
I patted my leg.
In order to save Sophia, one of his legs was almost crippled, but now it is almost better to. I had never said that I would always be a cripple, but they seemed to be certain of it. I took off my glasses and threw them directly into the trash can. Sophia said she liked gentle and refined boys, so I forced myself to wear glasses and act gentle and polite, only because I owed her a life. But now there's no need to pretend anymore. So that night, when I was drinking in a bar, I saw Sophia storming in angrily.
Good, James. Aren't you allergic to alcohol? What are you drinking now?
I shook the glass in my hand indifferently. Wine.
You took off your glasses. Don't tell me you're not nearsighted.
Sophia, I just don't want to wear glasses.
You also said before that you only wanted to marry me. What's going on now?
I stood up. We're all liars. There's no need to discuss whose lying skills are better. I didn't expect to see Sophia here, and more importantly, the little girl beside her looked familiar, but she seemed out of place in the current scene.
James, I thought we were still friends.
Sophia suddenly softened her tone.
I know I am very willful this time. Don't talk to me like that. Can you forgive me?
Sophia, there's no need for us to talk about this. Just live our own lives well in the future. At this time, David appeared and directly shouted at me, You're such a despicable person.
Sophia doesn't like you at all, yet you're still pestering her.
The words of persuasion didn't come out of my mouth, but my fist did. David was tall but not good at fighting. How could he be a match for someone like me who grew up in an orphanage?
He was quickly beaten down by me.
He was still shouting, James, you're just a thug.
I'll make you get out of Sophia's family. Good, I'm waiting for you.
I rolled up my sleeves after hitting him.
But David, if you go crazy again in the future, I'll beat you up every time I see you. Sophia seemed to have never seen me so arrogant.
She was so scared that she was holding David beside her and couldn't say a word.
James, I'm very disappointed in you. I didn't expect you to be like this.
You also came from Sophia's family. How could you start a fight at the slightest disagreement? What kind of behavior is this? Sophia thought I was still the one who was submissive and always coaxed her.
Now she couldn't help but stand on the high ground and accuse me. Sophia, you probably don't know me well. I'm just like this. Moreover, there are a lot of things she can't accept.
For example, I was adopted by Sophia's family, and she is not the real daughter of the family. Not long after, my leader gave me a dismissal letter and then secretly pointed his finger at the ceiling.
I nodded understandingly. It's okay, I understand. Sophia's grandfather brought me back from the orphanage because he thought I was obedient. Now that I want to leave Sophia's family, I actually owe it to David for giving me a push. I quickly packed my things and left, and then went to another company.
Before long, a college classmate contacted me, saying that there would be a college reunion and hoped that I could actively participate and could also bring my family. Since I was adopted by Sophia's family in the third year of junior high school, all my life has revolved around Sophia. Even though I had much better grades than her, I was required to go to the same school as her because I had to take care of her. This meant that everyone at this so-called class reunion knew very well about my past as a lapdog. It was more like they came to see me make a fool of myself.
But I've been doing whatever I want recently and just wanted to be unexpected. so I readily agreed. My leg had completely recovered, and I didn't need a cane anymore. I was more satisfied with my image. On the day of the reunion, I went with Mark. This guy insisted on getting an explanation for me. When we got to the door wouldn't push open. No matter how hard we pushed, it still didn't move. What's going on? Are they playing tricks on us? Is no one coming to the reunion? I looked at him calmly. There are some doors in this world that you can't push open. The harder you push, the less it will open. Are you scared or something? Why are you being so mysterious? Mark glanced at me. For this kind of door, you just need to pull it gently. Mark looked extremely embarrassed, and we entered the private room together. When everyone saw me, the conversation and laughter paused for a second, and some people even looked embarrassed. It was the monitor who broke the ice and said with a smile, "James, Mark, you're here. Sit down, old classmates. Let's have a chat." I nodded and didn't care about what was in front of me at all. Just as I took a sip of water from my glass, I heard someone ask me, "James, I heard that you've been in Sophia's family. The treatment must be very good, right?" "Here it comes." I smiled. I recently left Sophia's family. As for the treatment in Sophia's family, it was okay. "Oh, what do you mean by okay?" Someone immediately became sarcastic. Who doesn't know that Sophia's family is at the top of the industry? Others are desperate to get in, but you got in and didn't cherish it. Or did you make a mistake and get kicked out? I looked at the person who spoke. I didn't recognize his face very well. Now he looked greasy, and I really couldn't remember who he was. "Are you from our class?" I was really confused. The other person got angry, still pretending. "Everyone knows that you're no longer Sophia's fiancé. What are you pretending to be a big shot for here? Does being Sophia's fiancé mean pretending?" I shook my head. "You probably don't know much. And when I said the treatment was okay, it's really because I don't earn as much in Sophia's family as I do now." "Come on, Robert, stop talking." Someone spoke up to stop him, and then I remembered who this person was. While we were talking, someone shouted, "Sophia is here." I looked up and saw the same woman who was exquisite down to every hair. Beside her was David, who was showing off like a peacock recently. "Sophia, aren't you going to introduce us?" It was still the greasy little fat guy who spoke. Sophia frowned and blurted out, "Are you from our class?" I almost couldn't hold back my laughter, and Mark actually laughed out loud. Sophia seemed not to see me and directly introduced David. "Hello, everyone. This is my fiancé, David." David sat opposite me, looking extremely arrogant, but still afraid of my fists, so he learned to swallow his anger. "Sophia, you're getting more and more beautiful." A girl changed the topic, and the meal finally continued. "Not really. Everyone is about the same. There's not much change." Robert, who didn't get what he wanted, tried to make up for it. "Sophia, your fiancé looks really good. Where does he work? He looks like a talented person at first glance." Mark directly took over. "He just came back from abroad 2 months ago and hasn't adjusted to the time difference yet, so he's resting at home." "Then David's family conditions must be very good. Unlike some people who have no parents and rely on others for everything. A typical guy who lives off a woman." "Enough." Sophia started to get angry. "Who are you talking about? What if someone has poor conditions? Does it bother you?" I naturally knew why Sophia's family didn't like David. Speaking of which, his family conditions were indeed not bad. Otherwise, they wouldn't have sent him abroad to study. When he first went abroad, he was a typical rich second-generation, generous, with a bunch of friends, and changed girlfriends one after another. But not long after, his family went bankrupt. If it weren't for Sophia, I'm afraid he couldn't have continued his studies. I waved to the waiter waiting in the private room. "Bring the wine I have stored here." The waiter was respectful. "Yes, boss." Only then did everyone realize something was wrong. Even Mark quietly asked, "When did you become the boss?" Robert looked dumbfounded. "You're the boss here. If you have the ability, waive the bill today and treat us to a meal." I smiled. "I'm a businessman, not a fool. I can give you an extra fruit plate to cure your foul mouth." Laughing to death. Look at David's face. Mark was lying on the sofa, laughing heartily. I said you were so calm. You were holding back a big move in your heart. That pretty boy's face really turned even paler. I didn't care about this at all, but there was one thing I really wanted to figure out. In my previous life, my task was to be a good servant beside Sophia. I didn't need to please her to the extent of this life. So, besides taking good care of her daily, I mostly worked hard for Sophia's family. I actually already knew that Sophia's family was in decline and had been emptied out. but I still tried my best to save it. However, when something happened, Sophia's family pushed me out and said that it was all my doing. I was called an ungrateful wretch raised by Sophia's family and was spurned by everyone. Only then did I know that being adopted by Sophia's family, I was always just a pawn. At this time, it was also revealed that Sophia was not the real daughter of Sophia's family. But I was in a difficult situation and had no time to figure out who the real daughter was. The reason why I owed Sophia a life was that she said she wanted to die. When I went to find her, she had been kicked out of Sophia's family, and no one cared about her life or death. As a down and out person myself, the only thing I could do was to give her some money to ensure that she could live in the future. At least when Mark had a car accident, Sophia generously lent me $100,000. As a result, someone came at me with a knife in the street, shouting that I embezzled the employee's hard-earned money and forced an employee to death, and demanding that I pay with my life. The knife was aimed straight at my heart, the knife was aimed straight at my chest. I was so focused on Sophia scolding me with words like "I don't need your pity or your charity" that I didn't notice at all. The first blow landed on my chest, but for the second one, Sophia pushed me away, and the frenzied attacker directly slashed at her neck. Later, the attacker was subdued, but Sophia was gone. When I asked her why she saved me, she said, "Don't think I wanted to save you. Why can you all live a good life, while I'm not even a young lady anymore? You owe me this. You'll never forget me in your life." Actually, she probably didn't know that I was already pushed to the brink of death by Sophia's family. When she was buried, I was the only one who went to see her off. What awaited me was a long prison sentence. Sophia's father told me that he would find someone to arrange everything and make me comfortable inside. Sophia's mother cried, saying that they had raised me for so many years, and I couldn't bite the hand that fed me. Later, when I was on the verge of death, suddenly a voice came to my ear: "Do you want to live your life again? If so, pay back the life you owe her. Just obey for 10 years. It's worth it for a new life, right?" I was the one who set the date for the wedding with Sophia. It was the last day of the 10th year. When she said she couldn't marry me, of course I had to be obedient. "What are you thinking about?" Mark patted me. "You're so engrossed." "Help me look into someone," I said, looking at Mark. "There's a woman named Chloe beside Sophia. Find out about her background. If I'm not mistaken, she's the real daughter of the family." A month later, Sophia came to me again. Just like in my previous life, she insisted on being with David. But David, a down-and-out guy, only cared about her identity as the daughter of the Sophia family. He kept asking her for money and even begged her to open a company for him. His desires were endless, and he was even greedier than in my previous life. As he gradually got more money, he lost himself. Just like before, he started to indulge in various women. At first, he hid it from both parties, but his increasingly indifferent attitude gave Sophia a huge sense of gap. So, this young lady thought of me again. When she showed up at my door, I was surprised yet somewhat expecting it. "Can we have a meal together?" I was really tired of dealing with her in this life. It had been 10 years since I was adopted by Sophia's family. I had had enough of flattering her. "Sophia, I don't think it's convenient," I said with a smile on my face, but there was more distance in my tone. "Just say what you want to say. You're so heartless. You loved me so much before, and then you blocked me just like that." Seeing that I didn't respond, she continued, "I feel there's something wrong between David and me. I want to hear your opinion." I was really astonished by her thought. Logically speaking, I was her ex-boyfriend, yet she was dragging me to analyze her current boyfriend. This was really something. I said straightforwardly, "My opinion is that you two are a match made in heaven. Wish you a happy marriage." "James, you've changed." She almost shouted in anger. "You used to be so obedient to me. Was it all fake? Don't think I don't know that you bribed the hotel staff to save face last time. I didn't expose you. If you keep this up, I won't let you back into Sophia's family. Sophia, I'm not someone you can order around. And I don't want to go back to Sophia's family." In this life, I had already withdrawn and set up my own company before anything happened to Sophia's family. None of them in Sophia's family know this. I've prepared my way out for a long time. "James, you said you would love me. Does that still count? Did I say such a thing?" I smiled. "Sophia, you're an adult. David surely says such things to you much more than I do. Anyway, I hope you remember what you said yourself, that you're willing to do anything for him." Sophia was extremely angry and then said, "Also, I hope you can come to my wedding." Later, I finally understood the intention behind Sophia asking if my love for her still counted. In order to marry David, she didn't hesitate to ruin my reputation to set off their helplessness and necessity.
Because of my obstruction at the beginning, the two of them had a misunderstanding and were separated in different countries.
And because of my persistent pursuit, she had to agree to marry me.
After this series of actions, people actually forgot that David was a complete freeloader.
Even after all that had happened, she still sent me an invitation, and Mark, who came to watch the fun, wasn't spared either.
This woman deserves a beating.
Mark stood up for me. No way, let's buy a fertilizer bag and beat them up at night, okay? Help me prepare some money.
We're going to the wedding. I decided to attend.
What do you mean, James? Why are you so eager to be a lapdog? Mark said angrily.
Before, you never refuted a single word she said. Look at how many troubles it caused.
Why haven't you learned your lesson? I'm asking you to prepare money.
It might be hard on you, I said, patting Mark on the shoulder. I'll treat you to a meal later. After that, I went to the store and ordered clothes for both Mark and myself.
When trying on the clothes, I ran into an old acquaintance, Olivia, the goddess of our school during college.
She seemed to be there to pick up her clothes too, and she looked a bit tired. I wasn't keen on chatting with old schoolmates, so I just pretended not to know her. Unexpectedly, as soon as she saw me, her eyes lit up.
James!
I pretended to be surprised.
You know me. Don't you know me too?
Olivia saw through my mind directly.
What, after so many years, you're pretending to be a stranger?
Not really, I said, looking at Olivia.
What a coincidence. But I'm going to a wedding banquet tonight. Otherwise, I'd invite you to have a meal and chat. What a coincidence.
I'm also going to a wedding banquet tonight, Olivia said, smiling beautifully.
Could it be that we're going to the same one? Surprisingly, she was right. After changing clothes and doing her makeup, Olivia was gentle and charming.
The previous tiredness was gone, and she instantly regained the elegance of the school beauty back then.
Are you wondering why they invited me?
Olivia said, smiling and getting closer to me, with a hint of slyness.
You might not know that David chased me for a long time back then.
This time, he must want to show me that he's climbed up the social ladder. As she spoke, she suddenly reached out her hand.
Your wedding was also ruined because of David. How about we cooperate?
My appearance really became a small climax at the wedding. Behind me was Mark, cursing as he directed people to push a sack of coins. Inside were $1 coins that I asked him to exchange for. Beside me was the glamorous Olivia.
Olivia smiled and said, I just got back from a road trip.
I'm exhausted, but for this occasion, I have to cheer up.
After that, she naturally took my arm. When we arrived at the door, I saw Sophia's face turning ugly.
She stared at me and asked, "What is your relationship with her?"
Before I could answer, Olivia leaned even closer to me. We don't look like siblings, do we?
Olivia said with a smile, making the two opposite look annoyed. But I still have to thank Sophia for letting me meet James.
I'm really happy. I don't believe it.
David suddenly raised his voice.
Sophia frowned and looked at him.
David immediately changed his words. I mean, Olivia, you're the of University A after all.
How can you be with this kind of thug?
He doesn't even have a job now and is a violent person who starts a fight at the slightest disagreement.
Wow, James, you're so man.
I found that women can be quite cute when they act love-struck, even if she was faking it.
I couldn't help but laugh. I only beat bad guys. Make way, make way. Who says we have no money?
Mark stepped forward and directly pushed the sack in front of them.
This is the gift money from James.
Send someone to count it carefully and see who really has no money.
There are $102,000 here. Oh, the $200 is from me. Sophia's face instantly turned gloomy. James, what do you mean?
Just because I rejected you back then, you want to humiliate me like this? Who gives gift money with coins?
David's face looked even worse. You're here to cause trouble, right? Cause trouble. I found it funny when I heard this.
I thought, David, you knew better what it means to cause trouble. You're getting married, and of course I wish you a long and happy marriage. I pointed at the pile of coins. I think with this money, even if you have 3 children, it's enough for them to ride the rocking cars. Honey, you're so considerate. Olivia seemed to be here to support me today.
Hurry up and sit down. This place is so boring. The whole wedding banquet was actually quite interesting. I wasn't naive enough to think that our little actions could make the two on the stage look as gloomy as enemies.
What are they worried about? Olivia said, eating the food on the table. This banquet is much worse than I expected.
Is the Sophia family out of money?
I increasingly found Olivia interesting. She was actually right. Hey, you don't seem to be jobless and penniless like they said, she whispered in my ear.
Is there really 100,000 in that sack? I nodded. It can be regarded as the money I didn't return in my previous life. At least I gave it in this life. Olivia smiled at me and said, how about we date?
I was choked by a sip of red wine and coughed for a while.
Finally, I asked in confusion, are you serious? Weren't you just trying to piss off David? Are you stupid?
Olivia looked at me with bright eyes, which were extremely beautiful. What woman would risk her reputation for such a thing?
Why do you like me?
I wasn't distrusting myself, but everyone knew that I had been chasing after Sophia submissively in college. I thought no woman could accept a man who had loved another woman so passionately and humbly.
Because you're rich, she said with a smile. I'm a big money lover. Don't you know that? Of course, I knew Olivia was lying.
But then she continued, they all say you're a lapdog, but I don't think so. You're careful and considerate, and you used to be obedient to Sophia's words.
But it's strange.
Even when you were obedient, there was a hint of rebellion.
I was really curious about you back then.
It seemed like you were crazy about her, but I also felt that you didn't really like her.
I was also at your wedding that day.
When Sophia said she couldn't marry you, I felt that you were very happy, as if you were freed. Looking at her chattering, I suddenly asked, do you like me? Olivia was stunned for a moment, then frankly admitted, you found out.
So, do I have a chance? We're both single. If you don't mind that I just broke up. To be honest, I had always regarded listening to Sophia as a mission and had never considered dating. But if I could have a goddess like Olivia as my girlfriend, I believe every man would be tempted.
Then I'll generously give you a chance to chase me.
Just as we were talking, the bride and groom came to toast.
David didn't care that it was a happy day at all and directly said to me, eat well. After being fired from Sophia's family, you won't be able to have such a good banquet, right?
David, does this table of food cost 100,000? The gift money we gave you can't even afford this table. Olivia couldn't stand it and retorted for me, hitting the nail on the head. Sophia didn't say anything for a long time. She stood beside me and asked in a low voice, you're her fake boyfriend, right? I didn't respond to her. Instead, I said to Olivia, when do your parents want me to visit? I'd like to meet them.
Sophia bit her lip, looking extremely aggrieved.
I wondered who she was acting for. After the wedding banquet, I received a message from Sophia, I'm waiting for you at our home. When I arrived, Sophia wasn't there yet. It was the wedding night, and I didn't know what she was planning.
This place has been forgotten since the wedding was cancelled and neither of us has been here. I sat in the living room for a while, and then the door opened.
Sophia didn't even have time to remove her makeup. She just changed into a simple casual dress. What do you want from me? I asked directly.
Are you in such a hurry? Sophia seemed aggrieved when she heard this, but surprisingly, she didn't lose her temper. Before, you were always very patient whenever I said something.
I have to accompany my girlfriend.
She's afraid to be alone at night, I said impatiently.
I'm really curious. On your wedding night, instead of being with your husband, what do you want from me?
Before I could finish speaking, Sophia rushed over and threw herself into my arms.
James, I was wrong. I miss you so much. I directly pulled her arms away. We both have partners.
Please respect yourself.
James, you still love me, right? You and Olivia are just trying to make me jealous, aren't you? You chased me for 10 years. How could you like someone else so easily?
I stood up and was about to leave, waving my hand and saying, if that's all you want to say, then I'll go first.
James, after all this time, I find that I still like you, Sophia said, looking at me. David left me. I just couldn't forget him before. Now I regret it. Regret. I frowned.
If you regret it, why did you marry him in the first place?
Sophia suddenly started crying. James, I want to be with you. I'm serious. After being with David, I found that only you treated me well. He's out having fun everywhere, only caring about my money. Only you were sincere to me. Now I finally understand your true feelings.
As she spoke, she tried to hug me again.
Sophia looked at me sincerely and said, James, will you marry me? I can divorce for you. I frowned. Sophia, there's something I've always wanted to tell you. Believe it or not, I never thought about marrying you.
At this moment, the door was suddenly pushed open, and Olivia rushed out. I knew this woman had bad intentions. Hugging my husband in the middle of the night, trying to seduce him.
Look at yourself. Your figure and face, how can you compare with me? As long as James isn't blind, he won't choose you. Sophia looked at me in disbelief. James, why did you bring her here? This is our house. What do you mean by our house? Who do you think you are?
Olivia changed from her gentle look and rolled up her sleeves directly.
Honey, if you encounter this kind of mistress again, remember to tell me. If you're not convenient to take action, I will. Who's the mistress? Sophia's temper flared up. She rushed over to hit Olivia.
If I don't tear your mouth apart today, I'm not Sophia. I was just about to step forward to help when I saw Olivia do a side throw, and Sophia was already on the ground. Now she cried even louder.
I'll make my dad come and beat you up. You'd better change your last name first. Maybe you can take mine, Olivia said unceremoniously. How old are you? Still crying for your dad. You're such a coward.
I pulled Olivia and said, don't bother with her.
Honey, I brought you here on purpose. I didn't cheat. You have to believe me.
Olivia clapped her hands and replied, my husband is the best.
The next second, she actually kissed me on the face. Honey, here's a rewarding kiss for you.
Sophia was never the type to endure. Her temper had caused a lot of trouble before, and I used to solve them for her. This time, she actually claimed that because she didn't choose me back then, I was taking revenge on her and even instigating my girlfriend to beat her. She said she had injuries on her body and face. But I could tell at a glance that these injuries were either fake or caused by David.
She was just trying to pin the blame on us.
Even more, Sophia maliciously spread rumors that Olivia had unsuccessfully pursued David before, so she beat her up, and she even showed the home surveillance as evidence of Olivia's assault. This matter of assault could be serious or not. The key was that the other party was the young lady of the Sophia family, and I, who was adopted by the Sophia family and then kicked out because of mistakes, was accused of being jealous and taking revenge on Sophia, and was severely scolded. At this time, there was still 1 year until Sophia was exposed as not the real daughter of the family in my previous life. I arranged for someone to find Chloe in advance and explained my purpose to her. She didn't know her own background at that time.
After all, she was just the daughter of Sophia's family's nanny.
Usually, she played with Sophia because Sophia forced her to, without considering Chloe's wishes at all.
I asked Olivia if she was afraid.
She smiled and said, I'm not a pushover. I recorded all her words. So when the recording was made public, Sophia wasn't afraid because no one dared to question her. However, when Chloe showed up at the door with the paternity test report, she truly panicked. In my past life, when Chloe came to the door, she didn't have a paternity test report. After discovering the truth, she was about to confront Sophia and get a test done. At that time, Sophia was the only one at home. Fearing the loss of her status as the daughter of the Sophia family, Sophia directly had someone knock Chloe unconscious and tie her up.
Chloe, the innocent real daughter, was tortured for a month before being found by Sophia's parents.
Considering Sophia's long-standing relationship with the family, Sophia's father merely expelled her from the house, but her biological mother, the nanny of the Sophia family, was directly sent to prison. At that time, in order to survive, Sophia tried to find a job like an ordinary person, but no company was willing to hire her. Only then did she realize that the Sophia family had cut off her means of livelihood. In this life, the pressure of public opinion combined with that recording directly pushed Sophia to the bottom. She tried to seek help from David, but David, using the excuse that she was not the real daughter of the Sophia family and that he had been seriously deceived, dumped her and ran away with her money. Olivia stared at me, dumbfounded at the whole plan I had orchestrated. If you offend the Sophia family like this, are we going to have no future?
I looked at her affectionately and smiled. Don't worry. The husband of the renowned of Young University must be rich. I can support you.
She smiled gently.
Honey, my family is well off too.
If worst comes to worst, you can move in with my family, and I'll support you.
I played along with her joke. Okay, then I'll be a real kept man.
In fact, what I was really waiting for was the bankruptcy of the Sophia family. A year later, Sophia's father still tried to use the old trick and make me the scapegoat, only to find that I had already withdrawn completely.
I'm not stupid in this life. How could I let others manipulate me?
All the evidence pointed to him, and I just needed to cooperate quietly with the investigation.
Just then, my company stood out and became a rising star in the industry.
Sophia's father had no choice but to humbly ask me to marry his real daughter, now named Lu Zixin.
At this point, Olivia and I had a very stable relationship.
I had even met her parents and was just waiting for a good day to propose marriage. Sophia's father suddenly asked me, "Did you know long ago that Sophia wasn't my daughter?" Although I did know, I couldn't very well say that I was reborn.
So I just shook my head. I didn't know.
If she hadn't changed her mind at the wedding, would you have married her?
I nodded. Yes. I underestimated you. Sophia's father seemed to age 10 years in an instant.
His hair became even whiter. I chose you because you were obedient, but it turns out you're a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Uncle, I was just trying to survive, I smiled.
I can arrange for someone to take care of your daughter and Sophia's grandfather. As for the employees of the Sophia family who are willing to come to my company, I can select the best ones. This can be considered as a way to repay your kindness of raising me all these years.
I paused. As for the rest, I really can't do anything, or rather, I don't want to interfere.
After all, from the very beginning, I was the backup plan you prepared for yourself.
After that, I didn't see Sophia's parents for a long time. I thought the one who had the worst luck was Lu Zixin. She was swapped by the nanny when she was a child.
Just because her blood type was the same as Sophia's, this went unnoticed for so many years. She finally managed to return to the Sophia family, but she didn't get to enjoy a good life for long.
I returned to the company. Now Mark is the department manager of my company.
He often tells me, back then, I helped you carry that sack of coins.
Now I can handle anything.
I also often remind him, remember, the fortune teller said you should stay home and watch movies on September 9th, don't go out under any circumstances.
I know. You've said it so many times. Whether I can be promoted to director and have good fortune depends on this day. Don't worry. Modern young people won't forget something like this. Olivia and I got engaged, and our lives were plain and happy.
Until one day, when I was on a business trip in another city, I saw Sophia on the street again. She was dressed very simply, and her belly looked like she was about to give birth. I didn't want to get involved in Sophia's life at first. But the moment I turned around, I heard her scream. I looked back and saw a man grabbing Sophia's hair and beating and scolding her. I gave you money, but there's someone else's kid in your belly. You've been with so many men. You're really a bitch. You can't change your nature.
Sophia shouted with a laugh, come on, kill me. I don't want to live anyway. When did you ever give me money? I have to take care of you even though I'm pregnant. You're like a dead pig every day.
The two of them were arguing and fighting, but the people around just ignored them.
Don't look, young man. This couple fights every day, someone beside me chattered.
Do you want to come into our store and take a look at the freshly baked bread? I saw that the man was hitting too hard, and the other side was a pregnant woman. I was really worried something bad would happen.
I shook my head and thanked the person who spoke. Seeing someone step forward to stop it, I quickly took out my phone and called the police. Just as I reached the street corner, suddenly a figure rushed towards me with a knife, shouting, "Give me your life." Memories of my past life instantly flooded back.
I instinctively dodged, but unfortunately, my arm was cut.
All of you die.
Sophia seemed to go crazy at this moment, shouting, "It's all your fault.
If it weren't for you, I'd still be the daughter of the Sophia family."
She shouted frantically to the people around, "I'm the daughter of the Sophia family.
I'm rich. Why don't you believe me? I really am the daughter of the Sophia family."
I quickly jumped to a safe area, and a passer-by beside me also hurriedly called the police. Sophia seemed to be in a frenzy, waving the blood-stained knife around, mumbling, "I used to have a dress that cost 100,000 yuan easily.
It was so beautiful. My dad is Lu Ming.
I'm the daughter of the Sophia group.
Check if you don't believe me."
Then she started crying again, "I really am the daughter of the Sophia family.
He's bullying me.
When my dad finds me, I'll make him kill this guy."
I didn't watch the farce any longer and went straight home.
By then, I had already had my wound bandaged in the hospital. Olivia looked at my injury, and her eyes were filled with tears of distress. I looked at her in front of me, feeling completely content.
With such a wife, what more could I ask for?
Olivia said to me gently, "Honey, you have to get better soon."
"It's okay. It's just a flesh wound.
When I get better, I'll have to work out and build some muscles so I can help you carry our baby in the future." I was a bit taken aback, not sure if Olivia was hinting at something. As it turned out, Olivia looked at me and nodded slightly. I was so excited that I almost hugged her tightly.
"Tomorrow, I'll go to your parents' place to discuss our wedding date. I'm going to be a dad." "Thank you, honey. Our happy days are yet to come."